For decades, boxing was the dominant combat sport as fighters like Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, and Evander Holyfield became household names. In recent years, MMA has caught up to the sweet science with Alex Pereira, Dustin Poirier, and Conor McGregor joining Canelo Alvarez, Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua as fighters who can headline cards that sell out arenas and get 1 million pay-per-view buys. Even professional wrestling, long derided as sports entertainment because it is scripted, has grown more formidable over the past decade. The 2019 edition of All Elite Wrestling, AEW, provided World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE, with its first true rival since WWE purchased World Championship Wrestling in 2001. With all three categories becoming more mainstream, MMA, boxing, and wrestling promotions are all fighting for much of the same audience and have been making a dash for cash to fuel growth. With the fight game getting bigger and the top promotions drawing real capital, the combat sports industry has become a winner's game, as competitve outside the ring, or Octagon, as it is once the bell rings. The most high-profile moment in the combat sports battle royale has been the merger and subsequent IPO of UFC and WWE, first and second on this inaugural list, under the name TKO Holdings in September 2023. To understand how big each of the companies were separately, consider this. UFC holds some 40 events annually, reaching more than 900 million households on television across 170-plus countries, while WWE stages more than 200 live events annually, with televised events reaching at least 1 billion people on a weekly basis in more than 180 countries. The two brands each had media rights revenue of over $800 million, more than triple the total revenue of all the other promotions on the list. To make the $11.3 billion value of UFC even more eye-popping, consider that Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta purchased UFC for just $2 million in 2001. Then in 2016, Endeavor bought the company for $4 billion, marking a 72% annual return each year the Fertittas held ownership. In terms of pay, however, boxers are still making the bigger bucks, with Canelo Alvarez and Anthony Joshua both landing on Forbes' highest-paid athletes list. No MMA fighters appeared on the 2023 list, although that may change going forward after a settlement in March that will require UFC to pay $335 million to former fighters who alleged the promotion restricted their ability to maximize earnings. For MMA fighters looking to maximize their earnings outside UFC, its competitors have also made some significant moves recently. One of the fastest-growing companies in combat sports is Singapore-based One Championship, which has raised more than $500 million in capital from funding rounds since 2014. One has focused on growing globally and has media deals that allow its product to reach more than 190 countries.